Okay, here this is just a disclaimer. All of what we are talking about here are just our personal insights. This does not reflect
Network, the company. It looks empty here.
It looks empty.
You should move.
Alright, so this is a life-changing for the three of us. Yeah.
Wait, are we looking there?
I don't know. I
Or
mean, you can just look
just talk
with
to
each other.
other.
Yeah.
So, of course, we need an introduction.
My name is Brad.
Yeah.
And
And,
your co-
yeah.
My
And my co-host, of course, is...
He already forgot that we are doing this together.
Yeah.
I think he wants to do it
Yeah.
alone.
Oh, yeah, no. My name is Brad and my co-host.
It's Anne.
Alright, so this is our first and pilot
Final.
episode. Yeah. This is our first and pilot episode of... I don't know what's the title.
We'll think about it.
Yeah, we're still working about
yes.
it. And yeah, to introduce our first guest. Introduce yourself. Come
Can
on.
you see the guest?
Yes. Yes,
Here.
who's the guest? Yeah.
In the light. Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Kat. Brad and Anne's friend.
Yeah.
And coworker.
Yes.
So, for you...
Since you've mentioned that you are our co-worker, let's talk about just a little bit about
What you do, or
what we are doing.
Can
in
you
life.
say
why
the
we're here.
company name?
No.
No, just the
Just
nature of our
what
job.
we do.
Yeah, just the
Okay.
nature of our...
Can you fix this?
I don't know what's...
Can you please remove
Oh
the
shit, how
lock?
is that?
Oh,
Yeah, is it here?
Again.
Where did we start? Okay. So what I do?
Yes, our work.
Okay.
Could you include this in
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, we're working in a media company or a production company, particularly focusing on featuring different stories about agriculture. So, Anne is a segment producer and video editor. I am the writer and segment producer, and Brad is...
I know, I'm a farmer.
Yeah, he owns a farm.
with
Yeah.
no animals.
Just like he is the animal.
See, yeah, that's my life every day in our job.
Yeah. Brad is our editor and segment producer. So, what we do is we produce videos and other features, and we interview people around the Philippines. Anything that has to
Has something
do
to do with-
with agriculture. So,
Farming, yeah.
farming, whether it's fishing, whatever.
So if you have questions about agriculture, let us know and we will try to answer. Shut up!
If you
Right.
Feeling experts!
Alright, alright, so
Okay.
This is the side job.
Right.
Okay.
We are here to talk
About
about
anything,
anything except for...
under the sun.
under
But
the sun. So
We've
that's...
discussed,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we've discussed before, like earlier today, that we want to focus our discussions on topics about stuff that you can regularly tell to other people. Like it's
something
not a
that's
normal discussion on an
With-
everyday basis.
But commonly experienced by men.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you talk to your friends, you don't regularly talk about this stuff. And what's special about this is for all of our guests, if ever we will be having any, they will be the one to provide us
Topics.
topics. So,
So you will be
Kat will be
Exactly,
providing us
because
the topic.
Okay.
we cannot come up with any topic earlier. Alright,
Yeah.
so what would you
So
want?
Kat will
That's
be
why
giving-
I can't
Talk
eat
about.
properly.
I'm thinking of the topic.
Because I was so pressured.
Anyways, we ate goto tendon.
Yeah.
Yummy.
So good.
Guys, please
Very
try that.
With, like,
We're not paid to advertise it, but,
But
yeah, you can.
maybe. Char.
Who
it's
knows?
located in Scout somewhere.
Yeah.
Scout Tobias.
Yeah, Waze can find it for you.
Anyway,
Let's talk about, siguro like something we can relate to right now.
Maybe happiness.
is-
Something. Okay.
What makes you happy? Do you like
Yeah.
that?
What makes you
Yeah,
happy?
maybe.
Happiness. Yeah.
Okay.
Happiness.
It's kind of broad topic.
It's a broad topic. Very.
All right. First question. What
What-
makes you happy?
No, first, let's define first. How do you say
Happiness.
that you're happy? Or happiness?
All right.
Maybe you're happy doing something that you like. If you do something that you like, it gives you
Alright.
happiness. Or if you're doing something that you like with a special person or a special someone.
Uh-huh.
Either it's your family or it's a
Mhm.
loved one or a boyfriend or girlfriend. That
Okay.
is happiness, I think, for me. And maybe when you mix your simple terms, diba? Like when you said to your friends, like when you were still a kid, that you're happy when your mom and dad is happy or when your family is
Uh-huh.
happy. I think that's my idea of
Alright.
happiness.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that, I mean, based on your description, it seems like happiness is not complete without other person or other people.
Yeah, definitely.
And those are the people
That
surrounds you,
me, yeah.
which is your family, your boyfriend, your best
Friends.
friends, and us, right? Me.
Wow. Including
That includes me. Alright, so, alright, what about you, Aten?
Mm, I think happiness for me is when you feel that. Because I was thinking about this certain scenario where I felt really happy and I had tears because I really felt happy.
Yeah.
It's because when I already told Gilbert about this earlier. When I went to Hong Kong Disneyland the first time and I saw the fireworks and the parade,
Yeah.
I cried. I'm not sure why, but maybe because something at the back of my mind, I felt that I've been dreaming about this or seeing this, or I've been seeing this my whole childhood, and then it's right in front of me or something like that. Yes.
I think I agree with Ate Ann. Like, not only with the fireworks, I think it's something that you've been dreaming of to experience or to have, and then you
Yes.
finally have it. Have you experienced watching fireworks? Like,
Yeah.
not in Disneyland, I know.
Not yet.
I know, not particularly Disneyland, you know.
But actually, any fireworks display, it makes me happy.
And it makes me cry.
Yes.
Exactly, because they said that fireworks can, either make or break a person's heart. I don't know why. I just read
Did it
about
break your heart? Can we
Yeah.
talk about your experience?
No, let's just talk about it some other day.
And another thing, when you feel, maybe I am happy when I feel contentment. Not on a material thing basis, but happy when you feel that you are on a state wherein,
You're content
Yeah.
with what you have.
yes, contented with what you have, with what you see,
Yeah.
or maybe it can be like a temporary feeling of happiness or a long-term
Mhm.
kind of happiness. Temporary meaning when I go on a vacation and I see when I'm here on this place which I have been planning to go to for a very long time, and here I am walking on the streets of that certain place. Maybe that makes me happy. But the memory that I have gained on that trip will forever make me happy. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I really get
I
you.
really can't explain.
Like when
It's
someone
like-
asks you, what is your happiest moment? You tend to think of that moments like when you
Yes.
travel, when you achieve that certain
Mhm.
achievement. Like,
Right.
how about you?
What's happiness for
Yeah.
me? Well, since I'm just a simple person,
Are you telling we're not simple?
yeah, I do not need Disneyland, those things for me to be happy. I can be happy when I'm alone. When I am, I have a chance to be alone and think of the things that I have to do, what I've done, and what I failed to do.
Listen to prayer.
It sounds bad. Right. I love reflecting, you know. It just doesn't seem like I am, but I really do.
I can.
Those things.
So you
yeah.
mean when you are like idle and doing nothing,
Yeah,
like you're
exactly. Yeah.
reflecting,
That's
and
one
that
of the happiest
what gives you
moments.
happiness?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do? Like what do you think of?
A lot. Like some of them are not really that good for other people. I mean, come on, don't ask about it.
Maybe it's really different for all of us
Yeah,
because
exactly. I
depending on the situation you are
guess
in.
into right.
So let's say you are happy when you are alone because maybe
Like,
you grew up or you are in this time in your life wherein there's too much happening around you, and then you want to have
You just
a
wanna be
break,
alone.
Yeah.
a pause in life, and then just
Right. No, way back when I was in college,
don't cry.
Okay. I know you feel, bro.
yeah, aside from that.
We know you are a cum laude and
No,
then you just
okay.
fake it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just made an
Saw you in
diploma.
Brighton.
Yeah, in Brighton, making my own diploma. When I was in college, I can still have like a time for me to go bonding with my friends right after school. But it's something that I've been wondering for so long because I can't do that now. And I'd rather be alone at home, you know, just be with myself, something like that. Maybe because, yeah, you're right.
She doesn't say
The environment where we've been in our school is now is very different from the environment at our stage. Like for
Maybe
example,
you feel that you are really on a very, because you always tell us
fast-paced.
that
yeah,
yes,
fast-paced
that
environment.
you just want to go back to the province and then
Yeah.
just be on your duyan
Relax
under the
moment.
tree and
Right.
then just waste
Yeah, I've
your
been-
time there.
Because I've been used into in a life wherein I don't care much about money. I can live with my, you know, just
with what means you have.
yeah.
Now I know.
Mhm.
I have an explanation for happiness. This is just my theory with what I've heard from your stories.
Yeah.
Maybe happiness is, diba, when you're a kid, you seem to be
Like complacent.
to
Innocent.
you're innocent.
Yeah.
You get to dream stuff that you never knew you wanted. And then you've mentioned that when you were a kid, you were just simple, you live in a province, it was
Yeah.
peaceful, and then blah blah blah.
Maybe
all of a
you don't
sudden,
dream of anything big.
I did.
Like-
all of a sudden you need
I
to
came
be
here.
an adult, and then
Yeah.
you get to have responsibilities
Right.
and stuff like that. And then
It's hard to.
I think it will always remain to us that childhood that we have. Me, I grew up in an environment where I always get to watch Disney cartoons.
Right.
That's why being in Hong Kong Disneyland was a dream come true for me, and that made me happy because it brought back all my memories when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
So you being alone, being in a peaceful,
probinsyano,
yes,
you know, I'm really a provincial.
and then you being with your family,
Yeah.
because you grew up with that. And then we always wanted, diba, we always say that I just want to be a child again. I don't want to be an adult
Right.
anymore.
Maybe when we had the taste of being an adult, like there are times that it's harder to find happiness anymore, you know. It becomes a challenge.
Because maybe when you're becoming an adult, you are wanting more.
Yes.
You are like, not like as a kid, you're contented with just what you have, with what your parents give you. And then
Alright.
when you're adulting or when you are growing up, you get to know your environment, you get to want more, whether it's your job or with your friends or with what you have. Maybe you're not contented anymore like when you are as a kid. That's what others don't understand. Like, I'm not happy
So
anymore.
happiness is really contentment.
I think that's it.
Contentment. So, for as long as you're not contented with your life, you mean you
You
can't
will
be
never
happy?
Yes.
I'm sure.
That's...
Because you will always aim for something
But
More.
what if...
For something more.
But what if aiming is happiness for that person?
But how can you
He
say
keeps on
that?
aiming. Alright, come on.
So you...
I mean, there are different kinds of happiness, or there
Yeah,
are
but-
different degrees of happiness.
Yes,
you
but
know,
you will always come at a certain
at a certain
at a certain point wherein
Okay.
wherein you reach that peak or point that
Like
okay, I'll stop here. This is
this,
my
yeah, the happiness
Yeah.
juice of this part is now gone. I need to move on to the next level. All right. Have you ever had any experience like that? Like at this moment you're happy, and then suddenly you get used to that kind of happiness, and then suddenly you want more.
Maybe let's put it this way, like you're happy with your lifestyle. Because you move along with what you have. Like if based on my experience, let's say I came from like a high, not really high, like I came from my first job gave me this high paying salary.
Alright.
And then I came to this another company which gives me a lower salary. So what I mean by that is I'm very happy with
With what?
the first one
Yeah.
because I can do anything. Like I can buy anything. I can like
So you mean you were given this, this high salary that makes you like develop your lifestyle,
Yeah.
that makes you improve
But
your
then
own
when you
life.
experience that when you experience that lower salary than before,
Mhm.
you tend to like ask yourself what happened. Then
Mhm.
can I still do whatever makes me happy?
Yeah,
Whether
okay.
it's your leisure or whether it's what you want.
Yeah, it's
So-
I'm getting it.
In yourself, you tend to learn on how to adjust to what you have.
Mhm.
So that's what I mean by like wanting more. Because when
Oh,
you
I
want
see.
more, you are not happy because you are not.
Alright.
You're just aiming for
Yeah.
for it.
So I think what you're saying is that there's nothing wrong about it, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
let's say everyone who experiences that from this kind of level, and then suddenly you will be put down in this level
Because
by fate,
You learn from it, right?
Exactly, you will
You learn
learn
to-
how to like fold yourself
Yes.
just to fit into the smaller space, something like
And
that.
then you tend to look back that if I only did, and ask yourself, if I only did this before,
Mhm.
like start start saving,
Mhm.
start buying things that only
Those are the things
that you
learn
need.
along with the
Yes.
process of being compressed, as compared to being luxurious in
Yes,
the first
I know.
place, something like that.
So,
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, that's kind
maybe
of
because
happiness,
those kinds of happiness when you have the money
Exactly.
are just temporary happiness.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Yeah, that's a very good point. If you depend your happiness on tangible things, but yeah, those things will definitely make
Make
you
you
really happy
temporary.
temporarily.
And then that's where the saying like money can buy really happiness,
Exactly.
real happiness.
Right.
Because
we discussed about that.
Exactly.
About money can't buy
Buy
happiness.
But come on, let's face it. Money can really buy happiness. It's just that the question here is that what kind of happiness you're looking for.
Yes.
Right. Alright, so that's one kind of happiness we've talked about. It's all about like material happiness, possessions, right? Even me, I'm happy when I can buy the things that I've been longing for. like if I can buy a new camera, anything, gadgets, loads, although I'm not fond of it.
Loads?
Clothes,
Globe Smart.
globe, smarts,
Can you buy him load?
Can you give him load?
No,
Right.
first can you give him text me?
please. And alright, so yeah,
Okay.
what else? You're saying something?
Aside from material happiness, what is the other kind of happiness you think?
So you've mentioned about happiness that depends on people.
Not really
Right.
depends. Like
Yeah, because if they're not around, you're not happy.
yeah, it applies to your family. Like when they're around,
You're happy. If they're
Then-
not around,
When you
let's
got
say you're alone, can you be happy? There are people who can stand and bear with it, right?
Okay,
Like
you.
me.
Okay.
But what about you? Can you be happy? Can you still be happy just by being alone?
Alone in what sense? Like alone, like
Alone
without
just
your
for-
family?
Yeah,
Alone, like forever alone.
I know you can. I know you can.
maybe alone like me time, but not forever
No,
alone.
she can. She can.
So she,
You answer for her.
Yeah, she can't be alone.
yeah, I can't be alone because
she'll get crazy.
Same
as
with me.
simple as
Same with me.
as simple as eating alone.
It's so sad.
So
I
yeah,
don't do
something
that.
that you don't do.
Yeah,
right?
I don't do that.
You don't commute alone. You don't go to the restroom alone.
I cannot
You
do
cannot-
something alone.
Yeah, you cannot buy your own food
I need
alone.
someone to talk to.
Hello, it
That's
feels so
okay.
sad being alone doing those things.
Right, but
Right?
exactly.
Like when you have your coworkers at work, you can always ask them, "Can you come with me?"
yeah, but I
Like
don't know
do
what.
those things.
I'm fine being alone.
Okay. From now on, let your grab alone.
No, it's not like that. I mean, like, what I
Starting
meant-
next week, he will be
Alone,
alone.
okay? He's taking the grab alone. Oh,
Yeah, I don't
as-
know. Maybe
Even on this podcast, he will be alone.
Okay, on this podcast, he's alone.
maybe we should have invited someone to explain, each behavior.
Maybe someday.
yeah.
Some other time.
Right.
So if you
Yeah.
you have a different kind of happiness that we have not mentioned, maybe you can
Mm-hmm.
tell us about it, and then
And
maybe
we'd love to hear about
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes, just tell them. Tell
Right.
them what makes you happy or what kind of happiness.
Happiness that you have. But really,
Really, what?
did we really have had
Definite
a very deep
No, I
discussion on our topic about happiness? Happiness is a broad thing, but if you're gonna make it simpler by your own means of defining it,
That's what I mentioned earlier. For me,
like what you haven't mentioned yet.
happiness really for me is contentment, because at this point in my life, I think I feel happy because I can do stuff that I want, like material stuff, happiness.
Yeah.
But again, I'll get back to that contentment that since I get to see a lot of things, and I tend to compare stuff with people, with what they
Around.
have and what I don't have, then I would say that there's a part of me that is still not contented with my life. Maybe it's easy to say na I'm contented with
Like you are convincing yourself just to
Not really
pacify.
convincing, just telling yourself that you're contented, but deep inside you're dreaming for more. Like,
Yeah.
wish I can still have this, wish that I can still achieve this.
Right. So you're like you're like pacifying the jealous
Yeah,
you.
I think every day we get to experience temporary happiness, which is okay because that's what keeps you going.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's what keeps you sane.
Right.
And then, but then again, if you really think about true happiness, maybe,
It's an unending discussion.
yeah, it's
Really.
never-ending discussion because all of us have different kinds of happiness.
Different
And
perspective on
Like-
happiness.
Kat, she's happy when she's with her family or something like that. You are happy when you are alone.
Yeah, that's just one.
That's
of
why you're
my
gonna be alone
happiness.
forever.
No, but actually,
Okay, can you
Okay.
give us something
right,
Aside
deeper
being
than
alone.
right. For me, happiness is all about connections.
like?
Like if you've made a good connection um to to every kind of people with different characteristics, and establish yourself with a good connection to them. I think that's another one that really makes me happy. Like genuinely makes me happy. Like
You mean
You
establishing relationships and
right.
connections with other
Exactly.
people?
Not really relationships that goes
No,
down.
friendly relationships.
Friendly relationships. Like when they start to trust you, when they start to talk about things that
Good
they
things
don't.
about you.
Yeah, not really good things about you, but they talk about themselves, and those things that they're talking about are not really discussed with
They
people.
get to open
Yeah.
up to you.
They get to
Ah,
open
okay.
up to you. Those things. I think those are the things that makes me happy about myself. Like
Simply put, you gain friends that trust you.
exactly. Yeah, that's another thing that makes me happy, and not just happy because once I have experienced those kinds of encounters with other people, it makes me like aside from things that I've learned from them, it gives this like power to to make more connections, something like that.
Connections.
Connections that you don't have.
Connections that you don't have. Although my network is just so small, I keep it small and simple. Though I've known a lot of people, but you know, not every relationship becomes fruitful. Sometimes you have to, yeah, if you know what I mean.
You have to continue in life without them.
Exactly. Which is the saddest part of making connections. You disconnect sometimes. Yeah, so yeah, happiness for me is about connection and disconnection. Connection in a way that you can establish yourself to other people very well. And disconnection meaning you have this, you should still be happy without those connections. Just by being alone, contemplate, reflect, assess on whatever.
Disconnect from the negativities
Exactly,
of the world.
those things I think those are the things that makes me happy and keeps my happiness sustainable. Yeah, I can't be alone forever, but I can be alone for like 5 days to 1 month, something like that. But just to keep the happiness going, it has to be like a cyclic process. Connect, disconnect, connect and disconnect, something like that. That's that. Was that? Are you happy?
Okay.
Who are next episode? Who are you?
Yeah. My brain is so dry now because of the English thing that we've been trying.
Why are we speaking in English, by the way?
Come on, let's speak in
Because
English.
we want everyone to understand.
Right.
And we all know that Filipinos are very good in English.
Right. We may not be making a lot of sense right now, but we believe we are, right?
Yeah.
What about you? What is your final say about happiness? I mean, if you've come up with few sentences to describe happiness for you, what are those?
Okay, first let me start with what Ate Ann said. Happiness is like an never-ending discussion really for every one of us because each one of us has different perspective about happiness.
What
Like you
happiness
being
is.
alone sometimes, like me being with my family, and at the end, achieving her childhood dream. So
You're fixating.
that's just
What are you doing?
No! Why are you making me pakialam? Charot.
so that's just a clear example that each one of us have different perspective about happiness. But maybe what I've learned from our discussion is that happiness is having contentment in life, because I think everyone will be happy if they are contented with their life. Not really, not just that doesn't mean that you stop dreaming or aiming for more, but you're just contented with your current situation, with current people that you have, and with current things that you can do, and with current food that you can enjoy. So everything that is happening at the present in your life, at present in your life. So I think that's what happiness sums up for me.
Oh, you love current, right?
Yeah. Current.
Love
At
what?
present.
Yeah,
Current.
We
Current.
all should love
the present.
the present.
Yeah, because
The present
she
should
kept-
makes you happy, right?
she kept mentioning about current food, current people, current, you know.
You know, the current trend in
yeah.
chicken.
At least she is being
Well, that's how
The current.
I will explain it.
She's being current. Like she's trying to live in the present.
yeah,
right?
that's it.
Yeah, she's
You're
She's
just
living in the
doing,
moment,
yeah.
which is true.
When
which
you're
is
living in the
good.
moment, you're happy, right?
Exactly. If you know how to live in the moment, you really get to be happy. If you keep on looking forward and forward for your future, you keep on worrying what would be.
Not really. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
looking forward, and then you are looking
If
for
you
what is not there.
Overthink.
Exactly.
Yeah, overthink.
Right. And if you keep on looking back or looking to your past,
If
can't
you
move
have
on.
what ifs,
If you have what ifs and whys and those things, if you can't answer it, then just let it go, right?
Okay.
Yeah, those are the things that makes happiness an opposite, which is sadness. Alright, it's something that we don't want to talk about, but what makes you sad anyway?
Okay. Now we're
this is a new topic.
Not really.
now
It's
we're
part
talking
of,
about happiness.
yeah, if you talk
It's-
about happiness, sadness will be unfair for it because we need to talk about it as well. It's the opposite, you know. What makes you sad?
What makes me sad is the opposite of my
Of-
happiness, which is
not going to
not
Disneyland.
being able to achieve
And it's-
something I
Right.
want, and I have this specific, but I won't tell. It's a secret.
It's a secret. Yeah, I guess anyone. Yeah, everybody would be sad, right?
Yeah.
If they feel empty. What about you?
Failing makes me sad.
Failing?
Yeah, like
Have you been once a failure?
I think, yeah, every one of us experience failure. Like when you didn't get to do the right thing. Like it doesn't only apply to work, like in your life, relationships,
Have you
whether
failed?
in my relationship.
In their relationship. How many times?
Okay.
Okay.
How many times?
Oh,
have you
yeah.
failed?
That's it for tonight.
And that's the next episode. Thanks, guys, for watching.
No, come on. All right. We still have like 30 more minutes.
Okay, how long is it?
I think it's now recording too long and it doesn't care.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, you.
How long have you been failed in a relationship?
No, not really.
Not really
Like
in a relationship.
the relationships of maybe it's family, whether it's
Yeah. What?
or in work.
Yeah. All
When
right.
you
Just
feel like-
something if he wasn't able to do
Yeah.
what he has to do, then
Yeah, that makes
she
you sad.
thinks that she failed.
Right.
you
And
would
that
be
makes
sad.
her sad.
Yeah. All of the things
That
that
makes
you've
me
mentioned.
cry.
What? All
Diba?
right.
Crying
Yeah,
is
exactly.
Crying is that mean you're sad, right?
Mhm.
How about you?
Well, when I'm sad, I don't cry. I just.
What makes you sad?
shut, yeah. face.
you then still want to be alone. Which is not the opposite of your happiness.
Right.
So,
So both
this is not.
happiness and sadness.
So
he
your
wants to be
equation is
alone.
not
Yeah.
true, which is no.
Yeah.
Okay, what makes
So
you sad?
what makes me sad is when I remember my life back in the province, which is just very simple, and I can't be like that anymore. And when I miss my mother, my father, my family, my life, it's still stuck in there sometimes. And I kinda have
Then you will get back to that, to happiness when you are asked what is your happiness. Then you will also say that
Exactly.
my happiness is
Is
when
my
I
happiness.
was
right.
back
With my
when I was
family.
with my family in the province, living a simple life.
Right. But yeah, sometimes we don't choose our fate, you know.
We never.
We never. Yeah. We sometimes try to force, but it's if it's not really just for us, it's not coming good.
Yes.
Right. But if it's for us, then sometimes it's more than what we've expected, right? Okay, so I guess is that about it?
I think
Is
so.
there anything
yeah.
else? Any last words that you want to say to our
I don't want to
audience?
say my last word.
No, I mean any last
Maybe
words.
I want to live my life until maybe
You have
60
your-
years old.
Any
Maybe you have.
last words.
Okay,
Oh,
I will
shit.
give the chance to you, sir.
Oh, come on. Oh, what's your last
No,
statement?
I don't have any last words.
Any greetings you want to like greet?
Hi
yeah.
to Andox Baliwag.
By the way,
she
she is really a fan of
chicken.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm
living
Non-living.
Living.
Right.
any kind
eggs.
of chicken.
chicken
Yeah.
products.
In short.
Right.
That will
Alright.
make her happy. Super.
Yeah, that's it.
That's one kind of happiness for her.
Mhm.
My family and chicken.
Okay.
All right. Did we guys have fun? I think we're happy
We're happy.
tonight.
Yes.
And this one is like one of the moments that makes me happy. It really gives you the chance to speak out your thoughts that's not really being discussed normally, you know, with your friends or even your family. You don't discuss this at home. Admit it, right? And yeah. What about you, Aten? What's your you have to come up
What's
with
my
extra.
You need a script.
You have to come
Come
up
on,
with
say
extra.
something.
Come on. I don't know what to say.
What?
You have to come up with anything.
Happiness.
Just to end this show, you know?
Okay. I don't know. Okay, just keep on
Being happy.
Yeah.
Being happy.
Being happy and making
whatever your
others-
definition of happy is, just keep doing what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, being happy is
The best thing that you can do.
not only for yourself, but for
For
the
other
people
people.
around.
Exactly. I think that very simple statement on how you define happiness is very essential and very beautiful.
Yeah.
There are so many quotable quotes out there that pertains or says a lot of things about happiness. But I guess of all those things that, you know, yours is the best.
Okay?
Do what makes you happy. All
Do
right.
what makes you happy.
Bye,
Be
guys.
happy and make others happy.
Bye guys. See you again next week with maybe Kat or another guest.
Right.
Thanks, guys. Bye.